Hi, my name is Vera Kurian, and my novel is Never Saw Me Coming. So I am a writer and a psychologist living in Washington, D.C. I've been writing since fourth grade, and this is probably the fifth or sixth novel I've ever written, but the first one that got me an agent, and is my debut novel. Never Saw Me Coming is a thriller about an 18-year-old incoming college freshman named Chloe, and she is a diagnosed psychopath, and she is entering a special program at a university in Washington, D.C., where 7 psychopaths get a free ride to college in exchange for donating their minds and bodies to science for those 4 years. But really, what she is there to do is hunt down and kill a boy from her childhood who grievously wronged her within 60 days of freshman orientation. What she does not know is that someone is hunting down the psychopaths in the program one by one, and she will have to make some unlikely allies to catch the killer before it's too late. I have a PhD in social psychology, which is different than clinical psychology. Like, I don't see patients. Specifically, I studied politics and intergroup relations, things like racism in America. And the background of a psychology department was a really fun thing to add to the book as someone who's been familiar with it. So like the structure of a professor, and then grad students, and then RAs, and then research subjects and grant rating. It's not super realistic in the book, but it's definitely based on how things are done. And there's a lot of sort of psychology Easter eggs in the book where you might recognize a lot of the little experiments as being very classic social psychology studies that you'd find in an intro to psych textbook. My background, I'm definitely not an expert in psychopathy, but my background made it a little easier to understand some of the research that I did to give good background to the characters. So it shouldn't be surprising that one of my influences was Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I was just so taken by that book and its main female character, who definitely seems like she's a psychopath. I'm also a big fan of the original The Talented Mr. Ripley, which I think is so cleanly written, but also has this interesting psychological distance between the narration and the character, whereas today's modern thrillers are so in the head of the person. In terms of books that are coming out that I'm excited about, there are 2 other college-based thrillers that I read recently by fellow 2021 debuts. One is In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, which is partially takes place in college and partially takes place during a reunion of sorts. Also, The Girls Are Also Nice Here by Lori Elizabeth Flynn, which is also coming out this year, also takes place at college. I think you should read really promiscuously. I think you should be reading literary fiction, genre fiction, everything you can get your hands on. All of it is analysis kind of in the back of your head. And, everyone stresses how much you should be writing, but you should be reading more than you're writing. And I think it takes a lot of persistence and humility to know what you need to improve on and to keep going, because the reality is 99% of the time you're going to be rejected, and you need to be able to always improve and keep going even when you feel sad. Thanks for watching, and you can order my book at politics-prose.com.